that ricochet. So we get the Rubik 5. So Snap does elect to be the position 3.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's going to be a whole lot of play in this bottom lane. As long as Spirit Breaker, he's pinned to that tree, the Invoker's here, and I don't think that Necro is going to be around much longer. Beautiful setup from the boys. Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
George gets the Agonyms, he's going to control all of the go-in from Radiant and just nullify the crap out of it.
For a second and grabbed midair. They do have that big scary Undying on top of them. It looks like Reverie's deciding to deal with the Tombstone as quickly as he can. He doesn't want that in his fight. And down top of that Morphling, there is the save we were talking about though. Is it enough to keep this Morphling alive? The swap gets him away. You mentioned that earlier, that Benji would be there to swap afterwards. And now they may just lose Johnny instead of... They know Axe is bottom. Do they try something?
They do have vision on Dire. Okay, goes for
looks like there's just a running meme between me and my mates. We call him Lalul for the fun of it. So
Johnny drops the Brother Patience from the BM unpause from.
That's these Ursa players, right? They get the confidence behind them. They go a little bit too deep, baited by a position 4 usually, and that's it.
Yeah, so the...
He needs to be careful here. He gets the stun out in return, but it looks like there is some dust on top of that big space cow, and in just a moment we'll see a dunk on top of Huncho. RFA can't save him from that one.
The Dagon cop.
Raccoon decides to just get on top of this Sand King as quick as he can. Out comes the Tombstone, and all of a sudden Huncho might be in a little bit of trouble. Winching is running straight at him, but does he have the damage to deal with him? Down comes the Zeus ult, and Ame, Yatoro. Sometimes you're just caught out, and that's the end of that. Also, no respect for the Morphling. He doesn't have the sweet shark skin.
Yeah. So the Zeus is really good here, gives him a lot of vision. He's obviously they don't need to pick a mid laner to go in, right? They have the Breaker, they have the Axe, they have the Ursa. They can make a lot of space and then have the Zeus in the back just copying it and then sending it back right back at them.
They're feeling themselves and they're getting a bit cheeky. I just saw Raccoon use his charge to try and make it to the Wisdom Rune before the 17 minutes White Glint. 13k at 18 minutes. Holy... Let's go, Reject. Show them how it's done.
I don't really have...
don't know how you enjoy playing it. But there are some IO players out there who'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you say you have so much impact and control of the game as this hero. It's the macro that makes this game fun, not necessarily... I'm surprised with how short it was before that Roche went top that they didn't leave it to secure the Ags. They decided that the refresher is more impactful.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I mean...
plays. Now I'm looking at the map, and I'm seeing a lot of good vision from Radiant. They've managed to
Sorry, can you finish off and I'll chime in?
No, you go. Go ahead.
It's a consequence of the Spirit Breaker, right? This guy who's not catch a break in game 2, they're getting absolutely decimated. To say, like look at their scorelines: 1-6 Morphling, 2-10 Vengeful Spirit, which is
one of the strongest pos ones we've seen.
Definitely.
Is it going to be enough to deal with the Morphling?
I don't know. So on paper, right? 0 combo. I think it just depends on the mid laner's confidence. If he has, like, say, a skill advantage, or if he's even on skill, and it also really depends on if he wants to play Shadow Fiend or
annoying purple ball to release their target. So, yeah, all right. I don't know.
I think that 2.5 seconds will make the difference in this kind of lineup, giving the Venge time to line up the swap, giving the Tiny time to come in with the...
Again, he can stack 20% damage amp in lane. 20% from minute 1 he can stack 20% damage amp. You buy 6k items that do that. And either which, there's a charge onto Johnny, and Johnny is not going to see that cow coming through the trees. He's punching him. He does have the ult, so he sends him back to his team. And is his team going to get there in time? Yeah, of course they are. It's Zeus. Zeus doesn't even need to be.
I don't think there's going to be much.
Okay.
Not going to be much going on in bottom lane.
RFA is putting some pain on these two very thick heroes, though. No, hey, step up too far, and we're going to put some pain on you.
I gotta give Harold credit though. If there's any player that I would want playing from behind, it would probably be him. He does know how to make miracles happen with borderline.
Magnetize, a stun had come out from a support to keep me in position, and then that Dagon burst was enough to just keep me alive, keep me in the fight. Especially now he's lost his strength scaling. And now his dunk is on cooldown, and Reverie's sort of a little bit hungry. Johnny's coming with a swap, and can they find someone? The Glimmer Cape comes out of the axe, so they don't quite spot him. Wave of Terror, a whole bunch of damage, and Johnny goes down. There is a bear lurking on the sidelines. No, it's Gubala, once again, jumping on those supports on the back line. Gubala having a phenomenal game, this game. Into a Necro IO was able to somehow like get what he wanted out of the lane. He really wasn't that far behind. I had a look at the net worth, and he wasn't that far behind. And then on top of that as well, he was able to then just
Bootsless Vessel at 8 minutes 44 kind of just like puts a wrench in the entire plan of Radiant. You know, like the AU rejects don't have a way to enable Gooby.
Let it sit there and not get casted. So here I am once again to yell into your ears. And this time, I'll be yelling into White Glint's ears. White Glint, do you want to say hello? Oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Really
Stolen
unfortunate.
Clocks. Here comes
the Windy
IO.
started that whole thing, and
But if it leaves it much longer, this snowball might be too big to slow down when you're sitting at the bottom of the hill. And I'm really worried for Radiant. And I feel like we see more of these. Monkey goes, good to see Monkey. It looks like Slaughter Gang are focusing some real meta heroes rather than target banning, at least from what I can understand. Live on the main stage of Phoenix League Season 1, so very excited to see Invoker. Works well from what I can say, works well with the Mars, works well with the Spirit Breaker when you're hunting with Sunstrike, so...
it's such a good counter this game as well. It makes it impossible for like the Zeus to buy 4-star. It's one of the strongest ways to remove Bulldoze.
Oh, there's 3 heroes on bottom, and they're hunting Tiny. Tiny needs axe snatched it up, and it looks like the axe secures the Wisdom Rune. I think they're having some fun. I think they're feeling themselves in this game. So good to see that even in a comp setting, these boys can still swing. They're like hiding in the trees from an axe that is everywhere. This cow non-stop charging. Poor Johnny again and again. Johnny finishes that game with 19 deaths. Let's have a look how many times the Spirit Breaker was involved in.
Faye with the Rubik is the most synonymous combo. The man has like 30,000 matches and like 3,000 of them on Rubik. So I definitely see that. With the global cow is insane. And now he's starting to charge through waves. He has the 25% greater bash damage on level 25. He has all these items. This guy, because it just makes some spells absolutely busted. Like imagine having a toss that does its damage in like a 700 AoE, and then Rubik just has that. For some reason.
I had a player in my stack today telling me about a Rubik that had, I think he said rot. Gabala on the edge there, trying to deal with the Vengeful Spirit.
Reverie escapes in the back
Oh,
line.
looks like Raccoon is going to charge in, and all of a sudden that Vengeful Spirit might be in a little bit of trouble, and is dead. Run, Johnny, there's still a full team. Coming back to lane. Just, you know, doing tiny things. I'm gonna come back, hit a few creep, and the moment he arrives, he is EMP'd and completely ran out of mana. Which must be the most frustrating thing in the world. Huncho's up here having a look.
How long until it starts? Yeah,
5 minutes.
I don't
We
think
got 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. These guys aren't gonna. Oh, I just loaded into the draft. The draft has already begun.
Did they?
So it seems
Oh.
AU rejects have first.
And Prey was playing phenomenally on that Spirit Breaker, carving up and making some real space. But I think the hero of this story for me has got to be Johnny. That Mars laned into and lane. I also noticed immediately that they've decided to ban out the Storm. Obviously, Storm IO is a combo as well, so they didn't elect to get rid of that. Yeah, yeah.
So
what's
they're not gonna get Huskered here.
So, AU Reject's looking for a pod, and the bottom of the ditch is because of his Aghanim Scepter, right? Like, that's what makes this hero so strong. And I see he's got the Halberd queued up. I get it, you're against an Ursa. But, like, here comes IO! Oh, IO brings Gutsy with him! I'm not sure that's the play, IO, and the GG is called.
He just GG's!
Yeah.
Winching, what are you doing? Oh no.
Oh. Potential as a position 4. We saw Seb playing a couple of seasons ago quite a bit, and a few other heroes were picking her up as well. But now she's universal, and we're not seeing her being played as much as a support. Oh, it's going to make everyone in the Dota scenes cringe. But I sometimes even elect to pick up, if I'm having a good lane, to pick up the Locket early on IO. Sometimes pre-mech. It is... Ursa lurking on the side. In comes Axe with a phenomenal call. Down goes the SD and down goes the Tiny immediately. Huncho gets a stun off in return and doesn't have time to get his ult off. The Morphling doing what he can to put some damage on, but
having me on, I appreciate it. It's an amazing series to watch. I was going to watch it anyway, and I'm glad we could have a really fun time while watching it, because my god, they put on a show game 2. Game 1 was a bit of a...
So are you captain for your team before I go any further?
Yes.
Yeah. So put me in the mindset of a captain in Upper Division Oz. We've got all of these teams here, and I'm not going to make you rank them because that's rude. Now the supports are here to back him up. Is there anything here that they can find some traction on? The ult goes out onto the Undying, and that is a lot of damage coming out from Johnny, and down goes the Undying. Hey, Undying.
Now that I think about it, but they haven't actually decided what hero is going in what position. This could be a tiny one here. This could still be a wind one. QB is on the snap. Okay, it's the +5 tiny. Okay, I'll stop him. And top lane, there's going to be like a bit of actual play. 2 universals on Radiant, both ranged. It's a lot of damage. You can catch anyone off guard. Even Reverie and RFA.
He donks to that Axis, he just sends Dire straight back to their fountain. They need to be careful now. We got buybacks out on the Morphling. Morphling doing what he can to keep his team in the game. The Crab is alive for now, but the Crab needs to get out of there as fast as he can, but the bear is just on top of him. Axis, he has a built-in.
Is that on the auto attack? Or
it is on the auto attack. Yeah, it is on the auto attack. Every time he attacks is 8-second cooldown. And it stacks, and it stacks, and it stacks. It's 2% each time he hits, and it can stack up. And the troll might have to pop ult here if he wants to have any chance of surviving it. Though I don't think he can survive. I think he decides to try and take someone out with him, and it's going to be Gabala. Huge!
Oh, the mech!
Oh, the mech! Big save! Stops that.
Invoker was like, they saw every mid laner they could put on the Radiant team into it, and they decided Invoker will just win all these matchups, which is kind of rough for Tiny, unfortunately.
Gabala having a better game this time.
So even though Hancho George is 3-1, his team is suffering into the mid game.
Okay, we see a smoke now.
Raccoon is a massive like troll in pubs, and he'll just like drop a Broodmother randomly. There's the RFA Rubik respect bans as expected. I do think they will ban Io here. I don't see them letting it.
You're expecting to see some that same competition, that same fire tonight as well, huh?
I think so. Yeah, these 2 teams on paper should be relatively close, counted in a row, and then you're relying on your mid laner to go penultimate last and win you the game. But the troll pick's really good. Like, even though Necro is considered a counter, you can buy Ags on troll. You have so many tools.
Here's a question. You're talking about finding an answer for the Morphling as a core, but I've seen Undying played as a 3, and I've seen Spirit Breaker played as a 3. Not
at a game.
Maybe they thought they could play into it. I watched your game a couple of days ago where you decided to just take the gyro into the Shadow Fiend. You didn't seem to care too much about it. Maybe they don't respect it either.
Be more patient with these disruptions. He's just
I
getting
think so.
slightly the wrong hero.
I think also, as a Shadow Demon player, I can tell you that all too often you want to use that disruption offensively. That's very exciting for me. I'm pretty stoked to see you in a
they're still discussing on Radiant. I think they're still discussing what they're going to do here. Only winching is like obviously winching Aya was guaranteed.
Favoring here. It looks like some really interesting matchups and some straight.
There's a lot of comfort going around here. Okay, I honestly say I slightly favor the Dire here because when
What do you want? Troll loves a strong early start.
One of the better laning carries of the patch as well. There's not really much stronger than a Troll because he gets the Berserker's Rage for free, so he can get Coon and Gooby. Is just like, yeah, you're never going to do it. Those players are well renowned for their ability to troll on Monkey King.
Jeez, these teams draft fast though. It seems
like each other. Disastrous fight for Radiant.
Yep. Oh, and did I just hear
Scythe from Rubik?
A Stolen Scythe on Windranger. Okay.
Oh my god. That's 3.
So much trouble this entire game, but are they holding? There's 2 heroes here and a Spirit that might want to deal with Gachi, but no. Down goes the Sand King. Sand King does have buyback. There is that knockback from the Moon Cow. Once Facet's being introduced to the game is a huge change. Facet interaction with Rubik. Do you think it needs any changes? Ooh, Io. Nice.
It is confusing as shit, man, if I have to be completely honest. Having to track 10k advantage, and whenever Radiant are winning, they're only getting 1 or 2k, and they're not getting any objectives out of it. They're not getting much map.
There's also a 7k XP swing that I'd like to admit. So keen to see if they can pull out some cheeky little ricochets, get some cheeky little kills. Meanwhile, on the other side, Spirit Breaker decides to go for the, of course, the Bull Rush. Absolutely nonsense.
Oh my!
We are having a game. Dagon.
Yeah. This has been a treat to watch so far. Okay, so they will wait for Roche to go bottom and
Zeus
then get the...
alone here.
One of the oldest players.
Did you after last night, because I did shout it out on stream, have you signed my petition to have Hoodwink removed from the game? And everyone out there in Twitch chat, I do have the petition up, so please go and get that hero.
Damage.
Just doing 6,000 damage at 5 minutes, as Tinies do in 2024. Hey, this Ricochet has caught me off guard as a support far too many times here on the snap as well. So, oh, looks like they've found Necro. Troll immediately on top of him. Charge comes out. Troll's gonna just start punching him as fast and hard as he can. And I think, see how we go. Is he lagging or has he just got alcohol in his system?
Rev's had a beer. So Reverie has been hitting the beers in the mid game, like between matches and during the break.
Out! They might take Wing Ching as a return. Here comes the big toss. Ooh, it's just enough to secure that kill. But the bear jumps in. Hold on. The bear is hunting.
He's not for tower aggro. He's got to be very careful here. Another thing is the Morphling went Lincolns to protect himself from the cow charging him globally, but it doesn't protect you from the Axe, who's about to try again. He's lighting up that you can work like to actually still have a game no matter what. And this is also a really well-balanced hero to set up for the last pick, where I'm sure Hunter...
Okay.
He didn't Scatterblast the Rubik there, I don't know why. But that's first blood, yeah.
Look at that. 2 kills in a troll lane. That's not what you do. Let's go, Slaughter Gang. That's the kind of plays we need to see to get you back into this game. Let's have a look at how much gold just swung towards Slaughter Gang there. Good God.
1,800 gold, at least.
Coming up on Young Harold as well. You got 20 coming up on Axe. Meanwhile, this poor Morphling is 15, and the rest of his team are even lower than that. So when there's that. No, he's
They
gonna
know
pull it
he's
out.
in the area.
Okay,
he gets out.
Smart man.
If they knew exactly where he was, they would Zeus ulting him. He's just dead. Sorry, yeah. So with the
See what they could cook up. Look at this cutie Rubik with his little feather shoulder. This is his own little green Scardy. I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's get this ball on the roll. It's a garbage hero in the patch. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not seeing it anywhere on Dota Pro Tracker, and yet it's in all the games that I'm casting. Why? Why does this hero keep getting picked up?
It depends on. First of all, you need a Rubik. George does have the Eternal Shroud now, but I don't know.
There's a bear in the tree here, guys. There's a bear, and it wants you. It's lurking.
Yes, Blink.
Ooh, big nuke comes out from the Zeus, and the bear is immediately on.
Does counter the Axe's ability to like backlane like this, so I'm not sure why he was trying to do that. If you get put on the ball once, you lose the entire creep wave aggro, and there's like, I don't know.
Seeing these guys maybe in the finals, and you are unlucky enough to not make it to the finals, which I think is very unlikely. I've seen your Gyro. Your Gyro is going to rip all the way to the finals. But if you're not, and these guys make it, maybe I'll hit you up again to take so much damage. It's unbelievable. Crash landing.
I'll go back and check. He was on exactly half health, getting stalked by Tiny, and then just gets murdered.
Name right now. What's the fish? Naga. Like we see Naga pushing out with illusions. We see your Terrorblade pushing out with illusions. He almost got caught by Spirit
Breaker there. Oh no, he's gonna try sneak Roche, and he's gonna get clipped here, I think.
You know,
that's it. If they lost to it, they'd ban it. You're right,
100%. 100%. They might think, you know what, we can deal with it. It didn't cause us any troubles last time. All the IO was a ball to be thrown around by the Tiny. They'd be wrong. The IO had a huge impact.
Fifth on the net worth, but he's behind all 3 enemy cores, and all enemy cores are starting to itemize against him. You're going to see the Eternal Shroud on the Troll. You're going to see the Eternal Shroud on the Mars. They're just skipping BKB.
Not respecting this IO. That's what I'm seeing, right? This is the power of IO. This is why it's one of my favorite heroes. People think that this hero is boring. I get told all the time, IO's boring to play. I don't. Oh, there is a Zeus ult, and down goes the Morph. The Morph must have been top and got called by the Axe, I imagine. I didn't see it, but I imagine we'll see those.
I would have to imagine so, right? Tombstone doesn't care if he dies. He has a ceaseless dirge. Oh, random Ursa kill. Gachi's down.
What happened there? Was he just lurking on low HP? Did Prey take him? Was it Prey?
Yeah, he got slain by the Tiny toss.
Does Johnny just have a magnet on top of him? Because this Mukau cannot stop charging immediately at Johnny, and there's no ports to save him this time. Gets a stun out, but it's too late, and the bear is just going to eat him for breakfast.
And that's Battle Fire, which means as he levels up Little Shredder, he will be taking all the Little Shredder talents, and he'll be buying like a Maelstrom or a Gleipnir of some description, getting all these procs out. Tiny did take the crash landing, so he'll be pumping the toss.
Both of them look like they need something to bring it together. Slaughter Gangs looks like it's the stronger draft to me so far, but I feel like AU Rejects are cooking something, and it's a windy to see a high skill Shadow Demon. Somebody can play it much better than me. I'm keen to see that in action. That's super exciting.
I can almost guarantee that's going to be an RFA Shadow Demon.
Oh, the
And
Rubik from last game. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be an insane.
He's about to take a whole lot of damage. There he goes.
20%.
Down. One hit.
Yeah, I think he overstayed his welcome there, definitely. And he didn't even deny the bounty room.
They feed the Benji to the bear too.
Sorry, what?
They feed
once or twice to really destabilize them in the game.
And this is we are the cattle capital of the world, and of course we're gonna love the space cow. I think I said this in a stream. There can be a huge amount of burst coming out from either of these heroes at any moment, so keen to watch this in action.
Another reason you won't see a lot of action in the bottom lane is the...
is in, Johnny is out, Gachi knows he has to deal with that Shadow Demon and is diving him as hard and fast as he can. Disruption to try and save himself for a second. That BKB is running out, Gachi, and you are deep once again. Tiny...
Or mid laner are they going to choose to prioritize here? And then just see how... Because obviously Slaughtergang's going to take last pick for Honcho again and give him the best matchup possible.
What a phenomenal performance from AU Rejects. Such a super cool game to see.
Tier list time. I think a lot of people have
got their own.
They've
got their own tier list, exactly. But what I want to say is put me in the boots. Now, obviously this seems like a respect ban, and we're seeing things like the Broodmother being banned because they're actually just super strong in the meta right now. Do you think Axe is
up just because he can last pick it and kill you at level 6?
Yeah,
because it's a 100-0 combo. He will do it to you, kind of like the RFA Rubik. It sounds terrible, but he'll play it in any position and he'll just black hole you. And 4-2 still open. The Venge 1-3 still open. The Shadow Demon, it's probably going to be 5. Let's be realistic. But Slaughter Gang still have so much.
Sea Salt's confused. Oh! And Hunter goes on the Undying. He steps out of position and he goes down as well. This game is pretty active, isn't it? There are kills going on all over the map.
Ceaseless Dirge did act
traditional, and not super strong. But there are a lot of answers to Morphling on support heroes. Nope, they decide to take the Axe. That's a classic Morphling.
So, what you're saying is not completely wrong, right? I understand they just completely... Whirling Axes and further by level 2. It's like Weaver, kind of. Really strong.
Oh, good God, Weaver. That hero, as a support, is nuts at the moment too, isn't it?
No. Oh, well, we're in.
Look at that, and we have a draft straight away. We got a look at that beautiful, stunning.
Like in the numbers, but the amount of saves that the Undying was able to do, and the amount of like, even if it's just like a tombstone save or just the Greaves keeping someone alive, that prevents like 10 to 15.
Gonna walk away here.
1200 HP. I don't think he's dying there.
Jesus, also
he's getting a lot of farm here. I gotta give him credit on the Axe.
The bear is on top of the Shadow Demon, but the bear is also underneath 2 towers, and there's a whole lot of armor there to keep those boys safe. Toss back, and out of position, straight to that Sand King. He's stunned under 2 towers, and he is eliminated.
These are big kills. They're feeding like massive streaks. They really need to get serious on the Australian Rejects and finish this match.
Oh, Gachi.
Oh, he's on
jumping on top of Morphling. Morphling's just going to waveform away.
It's a bit of a wash. I don't think he needed the IO to do this, to be honest. I think this lane was always going to go this way once you saw the Spirit Breaker pick. But
Hunter's down here. Did they scout him on this ward? Yeah, they did now. Okay.
they see him now, yeah. This is another good ward. As you can see, the Dire has almost the exact same ward play. Last night, it was an EU team, but I can't quite remember the name.
Damo, you're in chat. Tell me. Lalol. It was Lalol. Thank you, Damo, you legend. Yeah. Lalol, our boy Lalol. Picking the Sand King and making it look hype.
Really
okay.
rough.
Okay. All right. Well.
Yes. So the Rubik's is going to be banned. The IO is going to be banned, and the Break is going to be banned.
So if they ban those 3 heroes, let's say they get rid of those so much representation in the pro scene, and it is just completely unrepresented in the Australian Dota scene. It's just one of the best heroes in the game. So I am so stoked. It's just 3 heroes. I guess the Spirit Breaker is just lurking between mid, and he is charging in on top of that Sand King, but the Sand King does have a double damage bottle.
Winching, possibly. And he is now called a little rat. This could be good. This could be good. Reverie is also a bit tipsy, potentially. He could be a lightweight. I gotta give MVP to RFA, though. 13 and 3 Rubik. The only double-digit killer in this game. And he's not just kill securing, either. He has second high